Yo, what's good? Brandon Bealey streams. We back, man. I had to come back, dog, because I don't know what happened on that last stream, bro. But we about to test it out and see if this one goes a little bit smoother. This was the second topic I wanted to talk about while um I was kind of on the stream. But yeah, now we can talk about it here because I feel like it would just be easier because then it would just be a cleaner stream. So yeah, let's talk about this, man. This kid Jesse Butler, who is a high school kid out of Oklahoma, he gets off from, very, very heinous crimes that he did to some young ladies in his community. And like I said, we've been talking about this on my channel for a very long time about the predatory nature of those people, specifically the Palm peoples. Okay. And so we're going to talk about that today, guys. All right. So we got some breaking news. This happened not too long ago. So let me bring this up so you guys can watch along with me and we can talk about the outrage from the victims' families after the convicted S offender dodges a 78-year prison sentence after what he did to these young ladies. Let's watch.
80 years behind bars. But now this Oklahoma teenage baseball prodigy is avoiding prison altogether, and his victims' loved ones say the justice system failed them. Brooke Taylor is following the story. She's live in Dallas. Brooke, tell us all about it. How did it happen?
Hi, John. Yeah, we spoke to the mother of one of the victims who says that their heart is just broken here, and the family feels like there is really just zero justice in this case because the suspect avoided jail time and he was able to essentially.
Look at those allegations, guys. 11 charges against Jesse Butler, including R word, DA, SB, and holding someone's breath with your own hands. Okay. This kid is an absolute menace to society. All right. Look at this 11 charges against him. And this was with multiple girls. All right, guys, not just one. All right. This guy totally lost it. All right. On these young ladies for whatever freaking reason. And I'm not sure exactly what the ramifications are for this young man, but I just wanted to keep those up there for you. And also peep how they don't use a mugshot. All right. If this was a young black man, okay, they would have had his mugshot up here. They would have made him look like the biggest predator to ever walk this earth. They got this guy up here with his little baseball uniform on. All right. Look at this. I just want you guys to peep that out, how they can, use the media to still protect a predator. All right.
Actually just walk free. Jesse Butler here. He is now 18 years old. He was originally charged as an adult in March. He pled no contest to a laundry list of violent sex charges, including first-degree rape, domestic assault, battery by strangulation, and also violation of a protective order. Now, according to police affidavits, both victims were 16-year-old students also at Stillwater High School in Oklahoma, and they were his girlfriends at the time. They described being repeatedly raped and strangled. The details in these court documents are extremely disturbing here.
All right, guys, this is what we're talking about here. All right, multiple. Okay. They were in relationships with this kid. He did very heinous things to them. And they just treated it like it was nothing, right? He walked away. All right.
Butler was 17 when these crimes happened and reached a deal with the district attorney's office that had his status change from adult to youthful offender. Now, the court found him guilty.
Look at this douchebag. Look at this douchebag in the freaking courtroom. Look at this. Sunglasses on. What an embarrassment. Look at this guy. All right. Does that look like somebody who's remorseful about what he did? Does that look like somebody who actually feels bad about what he did to these multiple women? No. That looks like somebody who doesn't give a F about what happened. That looks like somebody who's smug about getting off from this. All right. He's going to walk, right? He looks like he already knows what's up. I'm not tripping. I'm coming here with some sunglasses on. What a douchebag. Like, look at this guy.
And sentenced him to 78 years in prison. But because he's now considered a youthful offender, he got to avoid prison time and was put on a rehabilitation plan. The victim's family says the DA's office should not have signed off on this deal, but this is a small town. Football runs the show, and the families point to Butler's father's influence because he's the former director of football operations at Oklahoma State University.
All right. So his father is a very highly ranked sports president at Oklahoma State University. Okay. So this is a kid who comes from money, who comes from a certain level of status and affluence. And here you have him up in trouble, doing things multiple times to multiple women. And look, no repercussions. Dude just walks away from this with nothing. No held accountable for any of his actions. Walks away like nothing even happened. Can you imagine how the victims feel, how the parents of the victims feel, how the families of the victims feel? I could only imagine if I was a father and my daughter got this or this happened to her and this kid walks away. I promise you, there would be no way that they would be able to keep me from finding where this kid is. There'll be no way. I would be the one facing the 78 years in prison, all right? Because there's no way that this can happen underneath the watchful eye of some father out there who probably feels so helpless and so useless because of what happened to his daughter, multiple daughters, all right? They will never be the same after this because of this monster, Jesse Butler.
Now, the mother of one of the victims told me, quote, "This was the first time we needed the justice system. We placed our trust in it. Sadly, we feel the system has failed the victims." State Representative J.G. Humphrey is now calling for an investigation.
We need an investigation into what's actually going on and get evidence to prove that this court is corrupt and that they are letting sex offenders go.
All right. This is facts. There needs to be a full investigation with not only the court, but as well the DA. There needs to be an investigation with the judge, all parties involved, because this was a full-on corruption from the top to bottom. All right, changing his status from an adult to a minor, then from making it a minor to now him being able to skate as a misdemeanor underneath the underage law. Ridiculous, man.
And we asked the Payne County DA why they agreed to this plea deal. They shared a lengthy statement in part, quote, "Because the 2 counts of attempted rape were the only alleged crimes among the 11 charged that even qualified the case for filing in adult court. And additionally, existing law strongly favors providing offenders under 18 an opportunity for rehabilitation." Now, Butler.
Listen, only if they're white. That should also be at the end. If they are white, okay, you are given the opportunity to live and move on with your life, and being left with, oh, you know, he just made a bad decision when he was young. You can only do that if you are white American, okay? Anybody else, if you make a mistake when you're 6 years old, they're gonna throw you in the freaking jail, lock the key, okay? That is the difference, okay? That is the systemic racism that we talk about right here on Elite Media every single episode, okay? Because this is what we see every single day, all right? It isn't just us saying, oh, it's some person who calls you the N-word on the street. No, it's a judge who overwhelmingly thinks within their mind that a child the same age as this one This Jesse Butler, all right, if it's a black child, they see them as an adult. They see them as a predator. They see them as a threat. But with Jesse Butler, they don't see him that way. They see him as their sons, okay? And when they look at them, they say, oh, well, he's still given an opportunity, right, to live and for rehabilitation, right? You see how they strategically changed the wording, right? If that was a black child, that child is old enough to make his own decisions and he deserves to learn from his mistakes, right? But if it's a white child, he gets the opportunity for rehabilitation. Make it make sense, guys. Help me understand how these two can be the same thing at once. Yeah, freaking right.
Is going to have daily check-ins. He's also going to have weekly therapy sessions in order to avoid that jail time. But if he violates anything, then he could be reclassified as an adult and could face that prison time. John.
Football runs the show. Haven't heard that one before.
Football runs the show, right? Me either, sir. All right. It's quite ridiculous that would even be a way to make this like something that's okay. Like, come on. Like, all right. So now let's watch the body cam footage because they released that recently where he's going on to pick them up. And you can just see how the family's covering for him. The mother covers for this guy. All right. This freaking predator. Okay, look at this.
Felonies back in March, and who pleaded no contest to them in August. But by then, in the eyes of the state of Oklahoma, Jesse aged backwards from adult to youthful offender. And that meant the 78-year prison term that Jesse received also aged backwards. It was suspended, all 78 years suspended, and it was replaced by community service and counseling and a curfew. And if he keeps his nose clean until he turns 19, and he's 18 now, his record will be expunged. You won't be able to search any of the crimes that he committed. And can I tell you those documents? Wait for it. This is a sweet deal for sure, right? But he didn't know, and his mother didn't know that either when Stillwater police showed up to take him away. She may not even have known why the police were there, though it's hard to believe that Jesse didn't, and it's hard to believe based on what you hear her say at the top about you're about to hear, that she didn't know anything. Here's Jesse Butler's so-called awful experience being held to account for his rapes.
We're ready to obviously tell our story too.
Yeah.
Jess, it's Mom. Open the door. It's me.
No, peep the body language on this. Peep how they're moving. Peep how the mother is treating the situation. You caught it on the very end, of the very beginning. Her said that we have to tell our side of the story. Really? Your side?
And if you'll just have him step out.
Okay. Give me your wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay. Your what?
They're in the car.
Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or?
Yeah. So we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be there very long.
Now, peep how they are, you know, very calm, very careful, right? Very, very gentle with a alleged, all right, predator, all right? This is a person who has been alleged in multiple predatory situations. And look how they handle him with white gloves, very, very soft, very, hey, you only be there for a little while. Really? A guy who was facing 78 years in prison. Right?
But there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
You have to put him in handcuffs?
Yeah, I'm going to have to come with transport somebody and just give me custody.
It doesn't even register to her. She says you have to put him in handcuffs. Lady, he literally attacked multiple women under your watch. What do you think's gonna happen?
You know we're gonna win this. It's okay. Yeah. I'll get you out. For me? All right. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay?
All right. So look, they already set up the plan to get him out. All right. They already have a lawyer set up. Everything is ready for this kid to be able to not be held accountable for his actions towards these young ladies. All right. And guess what? It's going to happen again because he knows that he can get away with it.
Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Okay, so he's gonna go right to the city of Stillwater jail, and if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do.
Yep.
Make sure
Okay.
she knows Stillwater Police Department, not a county.
Stillwater Police Department on Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them know that we're the ones that picked him up.
And when you say we are the
Stillwater PD.
Stillwater PD.
Yeah,
Okay.
that way they don't think he went like straight over and over to the county.
Awful experience for the child.
Here's mom in the back. Awful experience for a child. What about the young ladies? What about them? What about the stuff that they went through, huh? We don't care about them. We don't care about how they felt, the things that they went through. Nah, what about him though, right? Only him. We're going to think about him, the predator.
Pat you down, spread your feet for me. Nothing in your socks.
Besides that arrest video, the court released a thick stack of affidavits and motions and orders, and I could have spent the whole hours on these horrifying details in these papers. Details leading to charges of sexual battery, forcible oral sodomy, rape by instrumentation, domestic assault, and battery by strangulation that led to that.
All right. These are the wounds and the devastation that this kid put on these young kids, okay? This is a sad scenario, but guess what? History repeats itself. All right? That's the thing. History repeats itself if nothing gets corrected, right? And I remember a story a couple years back. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I do. Where there was a swimmer, right? By the name of Brock Turner. Do you guys remember that? You guys remember that 9 years ago, sometime around that time? Okay. So I'm going to bring that up because history repeats itself. And I wanted you guys to see that this is how they do it, guys. It's not some random off, the cuff thing. This has been happening for generations. We just talked about Jeffrey Epstein. We just talked about Donald Trump, right? Jesse Butler is of that tree of predatory nature that is pushed by those people. Okay? Them people have been predatory and SA deviants since the beginning of time, since we were here. Okay? Since we got here as foundational Black Americans off of those boats, on those land pastures where they took a lot of us from our tribes and forced us into chattel slavery. All right. Since they got here on them boats, man, from Europe. Okay. They have R-worded, pillaged, destroyed, disrespected nature in every single aspect. All right. Y'all remember Brock Turner? Y'all remember this dude? Y'all remember that dude? Remember this dude?
Yeah, I remember him. Let's go on memory lane. All right, so you guys remember this was Brock Turner. All right, he was a swimmer from Stanford University. All right, he was at a party, a college party. Okay, and he tried to, he was predatory towards a woman at that party. All right. All right, so that was the big part where he was sentenced to 6 months in jail for having intercourse with an unconscious girl. All right, behind a dumpster, some crazy area. And then he was sentenced to only 6 months in jail with probation, and he only served 3 months, guys. All right. History repeats itself. Okay. And this guy actually did time, other guy didn't do none. All right. All right. What did they say last time? They wanted an opportunity for rehabilitation, right? Judge Aaron Persky claimed any longer would have been a severe impact on him. All right, these are predators, guys. And like I said, a lot of these judges, people in power, the DAs, they see themselves in these people. And so what do? They look out for them. They give them lenient charges. They set up the deck so that these guys can be able to walk and be totally free from any responsibility that they are entitled to be on. All right. This is where we're at, y'all. It's crazy that we live in a world where this is what happens. But like I said, like history repeats itself. And I'm always going to be able to bring receipts when I'm on this platform. Okay. My goal always is to be able to say something and then bring a receipt behind it so that I can back it up with what I'm saying. Okay. My point. History repeats itself because the behavior and also the construct of white supremacy within our system, court systems, and also the entire at large U.S. system is rigged up. It's rigged up so that people like Brock Turner or people like Jesse Butler can do despicable things to women and the community and be able to walk away with their name, no type of repercussions, no type of consequences. They can move on with their lives after doing some of the most gross things that a human can do to another human. All right. And this is what we see because, like I said, they see themselves in these people and they want to make sure that they get off. Okay. All right, so Judge Persky was later removed, okay, from the bench following an online petition. I think the same thing should happen to that judge from Jesse Butler's case, all right? She needs to be investigated and looked at 100% because what she's doing is outrageous, all right? And she did it in such a heinous way, it deserves to be investigated. All right. What this kid did to these to these women, unforgivable things, and he deserves to be held accountable for that. All right. All right, y'all. This is what I'm saying, man. We've been seeing this for a long time, y'all. It's always in our face. And, like I said, history always repeats itself with these people. And the more that people are complacent with how these things have happened and what's going on, the more that you will see more of this stuff continuing to bubble up in the sphere of where we're at in, this whole America, unjust system that we're living underneath. All right. And it's crazy because, like I said, Jesse Butler, disgusting human being, right, walks away after he attacks multiple teen women. All right. Brock Turner got away and he did very disgusting things to women. All right. This is where we're at, guys. It's so sad. It's so ridiculous. I just don't know what to say. And I mean this 100%. I have put a lot of stock into raising awareness for these stories and for these type of videos. So I understand these are going to be the ones that aren't going to do the best. So make sure when you watch it to subscribe, to leave comments, likes, let me know what you guys think, because at the end of the day, it's not going to get readily suggested like some of my other videos would when I'm talking about maybe somebody else who's of a different persuasion, if you know what I'm saying. So make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, man. Please, it helps my little channel grow. We're trying to grow these platforms small every single day. All right. So salute to y'all out there, man. I'm Brandon B, Elite Media, and I'm out.